Right now at 6, she says she was forced at knife point into her car, then raped. Her phone helped her escape. Now, months later, she is suing a major supermarket chain for not having better security.
Why heaps of trash was left in this neighborhood until 11Alive stepped in.
And a big surprise for a local veteran leaves her speechless. We will take a tour of her new home. First tonight, closed without warning, dozens of Sam's Club stores all across America suddenly shut down, leaving employees out of work and customers trying to figure out what is going on.
One of those stores affecting workers in Lithonia. 11Alive's Caitlin Ross was there today as people were turned away right at the door.
Employees were in tears and customers in disbelief when they found out this location was closed permanently.
Sam's Club is closed, sir.
Customers were greeted by a security guard Thursday, turning them away.
The whole store, this site is closed.
People were coming to shop, pick up tires, even a birthday cake they had ordered. All of them turned away.
Extremely sad, disappointed.
Shoppers felt worse for employees who were just told this morning they were out of work.
To come and to find out this morning, you know, that's tough.
The mayor of Stonecrest says he's been fielding calls from heartbroken employees all morning.
I've spoken to about 50 employees that are just absolutely in tears.
He says the city was not given advance notice of the closure either.
We just heard about this an hour ago, and quite frankly, we are outraged.
According to a spokesperson for Sam's Club, the closure of 65 stores across the country was based on sales numbers. They'll close some sites down completely and turn others into e-commerce warehouses. She said employees laid off at Sam's Club today will be paid for 60 days and can apply at other stores. But Mayor Larry says that's not enough.
It just caught us completely by surprise.
Stores across the country closed, but the Lithonia location is the only one in Georgia so far.
And in the same news release, Walmart, the company that owns Sam's Club, announced it was going to give employees raises. The starting pay at the company is now $11 an hour. Walmart also says employees with 20 years of service will get a one-time bonus of $1,000.
Tonight, we have new information about a woman who was hit and killed in the middle of a busy road while on her way to work this morning. Alpharetta police say that 54-year-old Ramona DeVore had just gotten off a MARTA bus at North Point Parkway. She was trying to cross the road when she was struck by two cars. She died at the scene. Police say that DeVore is from Jonesboro. They are continuing to investigate the accident, but saying that no charges have been filed.
Delta Airlines has emerged from several major challenges it faced last month, largely unscathed financially. Delta just released its earnings for December, showing $1 billion in income to end the year. That's despite a $60 million loss from last month's massive power outage at Hartsfield-Jackson, as well as a winter storm that impacted much of the South. Delta has posted $5.5 billion in earnings for the entire year of 2017. That's down about $600 million from the year before.
Meanwhile, Delta Airlines has somehow become the center of a mystery in South Fulton County as neighbors try to get to the bottom of who is dumping trash for others to get rid of. Trash bags, some of them with the Delta logo can be seen on them, have been piling up now for months. Our Latasha Givens spoke to the homeowners in the area today. And Latasha, they want officials to get them some answers to understand why on earth those trash bags are winding up on their property.
That's right, Jeff. And because those homeowners haven't received answers for 3 months, they turned to 11Alive for help. And we are happy to report the large pile of trash that sat here for 3 months has since been removed just a few hours after we started making calls. But homeowners say they don't believe the problem is over yet. Trash, trash, and more trash. The heaps piling up around Hillendale Estate is beyond frustrating for residents. Riley, who doesn't want us to use his last name, shakes his head every week when he walks out to a new load.
So it's been piling up for 3 months now.
Starting in November.
There's a picture of on December the 28th.
And has continued through yesterday. He says on different days, at different times, someone is sneaking in unnoticed and dropping off their rubbish, forcing others to have to pay to get rid of it.
Every time I come out here, someone has dumped more trash down here. And I would like for someone to find out who's doing this. It's very inconvenient and just trifling of someone to take the time out to dump trash on the curb instead of taking to the landfill.
These bright orange bags labeled Delta regulated garbage stands out the most and generates more questions. David Callahan sent us these pictures taken from the side of his home. Like other neighbors we talked to, he doesn't believe that Delta is behind the dumping, but think maybe someone illegally got a hold of the company's bags. Residents say their calls to city and county officials have gone unheard, but Riley says if he could say one thing to the person responsible,
I would tell them that they're mighty trifling and they need to get some moral about themselves and discontinue this.
And Delta officials say they are conducting a full review of all of their cabin cleaning vendors. And they say based on a quick look at the contents, they don't believe that the rubbish came from a Delta flight because that type of trash doesn't leave airport property. They do believe, however, someone may have taken the bags for personal use. But going a step further, Delta officials tell us they are committed to helping clean up those bags in other locations in this neighborhood. In South Fulton, I'm Latasha Gibbons, 11Alive News.
So through the course of the day, I drove from Fayetteville all the way to Athens, and it rained the entire way, Samantha.
Yeah.
But you're tracking these showers. I'm curious about that severe weather you were watching out as a possibility for tomorrow.
Yeah, as we head into tomorrow, mid-morning through early afternoon. What you drove through earlier today was just kind of persistent showers moving in from an area of low pressure over the Bahamas that was bringing in a bit of a southerly flow here across much of the eastern third of the state. But what we're watching for severe is still well off to the west, just crossing over the Texas-Louisiana line. That's going to be heading in our direction with some very cold air coming in behind it. So as the cold air lifts up that moist, unstable air, we could end up seeing some storms mid-morning tomorrow, and then those temperatures are going to be falling like a rock. So here's the timing of that as we head into the morning commute, mainly showers. Then the heavier driving rain moves in at about 10 o'clock and through Carrollton, in through Marietta at about 11 o'clock, and then right through Atlanta as we head through the lunch hour and into the early afternoon. Still some heavy rain moving in off through the Athens area, and then it starts to taper off in the evening with a few flakes flying possibly here across the Tennessee-Georgia line. We could see some heavy rain along with this and some gusty winds, and it's going to make those wind chill factors feel like we're in the teens. We'll talk about how cold it's going to be this weekend coming up.
Samantha, thank you. New at 6, 3 days after the College Football National Championship game here in Atlanta, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms says the overall event was a success for the city. Mayor Bottoms addressed the championship game today while announcing her full mayoral transition team. She commended Atlanta police for a well-executed security plan, particularly in light of President Trump's short notice to attend the game.
Anytime you have a president of the United States announcing within a few days that he will be attending a huge event, then it certainly makes you have to shift and readjust. That being said, I think that APD and our partners did a great job of doing that. We had very few incidents.
Mayor Bottoms did recognize some of the complaints from the MARTA riders who reported overcrowded train and delays. She said she expects to be briefed in the coming weeks about what the city did right overall and what can be done better for the next big event here.
One last State of the State address for Governor Nathan Deal, now in his last year in office. Today, the governor took a look back at the last 7 years he's been at the governor's desk, and a longtime opponent from the other side of the aisle is giving him decent grades. Doug Richards is live at the state capitol with more. Doug?
Cheryl, Governor Nathan Deal did not produce an initiative as memorable as, say, the Hope Scholarship or changing the state flag. Deal took office 7+ years ago, promising to limit the size and scope of government. Deal got an enthusiastic greeting from his fellow Republicans as he entered the House chamber today. Democrats cheered him too. Deal may be remembered as the governor who, with generous tax credits, ushered in Georgia's film industry, creating 92,000 jobs. The Deal says paid an average of $84,000 per year. Deal may also be remembered as the Republican who vetoed religious freedom legislation that critics said was discriminatory and would hurt Georgia business. Here's Steve Henson. He is the Senate Democratic leader.
He's certainly on the better half, let's just say, of the Republicans as far as trying to moderate things so that we do have a decent business climate in Georgia. He's certainly been reasonable in a lot of areas, and certainly as far as his team, I think I'd rate him fairly high.
Henson says he would have liked to have seen Deal raise teacher salaries and pay a little bit more attention to health care, but looking at the alternatives, not bad, says Mr. Henson. Back to you.
All right, Doug, thank you so much.
Still ahead tonight, they were supposed to be caring for an elderly man who needed help. Instead, that man ended up dead. We will explain why these two suspects are now facing murder charges.
Plus, a woman taken by a man at knife point. She says her kidnapping should have never been able to happen. Now she's taking a major supermarket chain to court.